this nasty dunk by Jabari Parker.
Good to have him back off a second torn ACL. I mean, he's a huge part of what I think is the most underrated team in the East.
It's good to see him. He's been hurt a couple times in his young career. He's a piece that's very, very important if they're going to advance in the playoffs.
Now check out this breakaway dunk by Vince Carter, the man himself. Remember the former Tar Heel? He's 41 years old.
Yeah, my same high school graduating class. We played in the Magic's Round Ball Classic together. I cannot believe he's still getting buckets.
Oh, that's amazing. And he looked fast because Dirk was chasing him at 70. So Vince looked good at 55.
He almost hooked him with his cane, though.
Yeah.
Vince looked real good. All right, now check out this absurd shot by Kyle Lowry to end the half.
It's been that kind of year. Toronto, they're looking for some respect.
Is there any team that gets less respect in sports than Toronto Raptors? Like, no one thinks they have any chance of getting to the NBA.
No, we need a general manager cussing people out and everything again, like in the playoffs, like last couple of years.
Oh, my goodness. Now, finally, J.R. Smith, well, he has just a sickening full-court assist to help ice that game for the Cavs.
It was a crazy pass. Now, a full disclosure, Cece, we actually practiced this in college. You practice throwing in the backcourt so you don't throw it underneath your own bucket, right?
Never save it up under your bucket.
But to do it in rhythm, and at that point in time in the game, what an incredible... Of course, every highlight should be filled with a J.R. Smith assist, right? It's really hard to pick apart because there's so many great J.R. Smith assists.
Yeah, it's hard to find the J.R. smart play. J.R. got that jumper going, though, now.
He does. It was wet.
Man. Cavs need him, too.
Looking good. All right, now moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys had a disappointing season last year, finishing 9-7 and missing the playoffs entirely. Now, there were a lot of different reasons. Dak Prescott, well, he took a couple steps backwards. Zeke Elliott missed 6 games due to suspension. And, well, Dez, he just got another year older. However, Cowboys legend Charles Haley, well, he saw it a little bit differently. Take a listen.
I blame everybody. It's one team, right? And everybody's together, you know. And that's the key, man. I go over there and I tell guys, I said, man, Jerry built this house for a bunch of damn losers, and they get mad. Yeah, they get mad. And I say,
that's what it's been so far. 22 years since the Super Bowl.
You know what? They have to do something about it. I can't do anything about it. I can't play. I said, all I can do is give you some knowledge. And then, you know what? That ego's so big, and they so busy getting on Twitter and Facebook and everything else. Hey, maybe they should get in that playbook. Maybe they should learn how to rush, catch, you know. You know what? And block.
Whew, harsh words there. Chris Carter, what do you think the Cowboys can do to get back in playoff contention?
Okay, first of all, Charles Haley, slow down just a little bit.
Strong, right?
Yeah, slow down. Slow down with the old man, all these young kids.
He was a get off my lawn there, right?
Yeah.
They're on the Twitter, and they're on the social media.
Yeah, and so are the other teams that are winning except New England. So get used to that. Now, as far as Jerry is concerned, Charles, he brings up some interesting points, but this is what they need to do. A lot like Charles Haley did. The reason why he's got all those rings. In San Francisco, and when he was with Dallas, they had such respect around the league that they typically in the offseason picked up a veteran or two that would help them get over whatever hump it was. If they were trying to get through Green Bay, whichever team, or if they were trying to get through Dallas or San Francisco. They had players like Charles Haley who brought some veteran leadership. Now, I don't agree with him. I don't believe that this team is full of a bunch of losers because they're prominent players. They all come from big schools. Like Ezekiel Elliott, he's not used to losing. Now, Dak, you could say he was a winner at Mississippi State. He's won since he's been in the league. Now, last year, they had a little setback, but you look at all the chaos surrounding the team. Like, did we expect them to thrive? You know, after the 13-3 season, I thought they would have a correction coming back to the pack. I thought they would be 10-6. And their biggest problem is they don't have explosive players. They don't play a versatile enough game offensively that they can compete at a high level. They're just a power football team. They got the 5 offensive linemen. They're going to knock you back. They got no speed at the tight end position with Jason Witten. God bless his soul. He's a Hall of Famer. But Witt can't run no more. Now, can he make a contribution to a playoff team? Yes. Horizontally. They don't do anything horizontally with the football. They don't give the ball to the running backs going wide. They don't give it to the wide receivers going wide. So it's easy for the defense to put them in their scopes. And with Dez Bryant not playing like a superstar, these are some of the problems. Their secondary, they got some young playmakers. I believe they got a lot better. Their defensive line, they got some young playmakers. I believe that established themselves. So these are some of the things for Dallas to be able to take that next step. But I don't agree with Charles. I don't think that they're a bunch of losers.
Look, I don't agree with him either, but I do think he's speaking to the narrative, which has been proven out over time. They haven't had back-to-back 10-win seasons, CC, since they won those Super Bowls.
Right.
They can't stand success. There's always something. The Zeke thing, I know it was a couple years old, okay, but it just happened to happen to the Cowboys after they had an outstanding season. You know, you got the Randy Gregory. They still don't have him. How much would that help a young secondary if you had David Irving not suspended the entire season, or Randy Gregory? But look, the hard decisions they have to make, and I know later on in the show we're going to talk about the difference between the Eagles and the Patriots. The thing about the Patriots is they bid adieu to great players and either offer them less money or simply push them elsewhere.
Yes.
And I don't know what the smart solution is for Dez. But I'm the biggest Dez Bryant fan there is. I thought he was a superstar before other people thought he was a superstar. But he's not anymore. So can they create a Dez 2.0? You mentioned Witten. Can they use him? You look at what the Chargers did. They didn't get rid of Antonio Gates.
No.
They went out and got a Hunter Henry. So you have two tight ends, so you can hide the fact that he can't run anymore. So they haven't helped some of their aging stars in terms of surrounding them with younger players that can hide their weaknesses. Obviously, not having Zeke just kills you because the entire offense is built around it. The offensive line was not the same last year as it was the previous year. And maybe the other elephant in the room is just how good is Dak Prescott, right? He could not rescue this team. And he got a pass the first year because he was a rookie. He was really a third-string quarterback that was thrust into being the starting quarterback with a star on the side of his helmet.
And they had 13 wins.
Right. And this year they still had 9 wins. I mean, with all these things, with Sean Lee getting hurt again, they still had 9 wins. But I think that Charles Haley does nail it, even though he's being kind of sarcastic, kind of caustic, just to kind of rattle the cage. When are the Cowboys going to live up to the Cowboy image of being one of the elite teams in the NFL? And when you can't put back-to-back big years together, it's hard for us to buy in.
I just want to ask y'all's perspective on this, right? Because y'all are laying out the case for why they look like this. But you notice in the question I said explanations. There's explanations, and then there are excuses, right?
Yes.
So I want to start with you, Cris Carter. Are all of these things, from Dak having, I don't know, a sophomore slump year, for Zeke's 6-game suspension, are those legitimate explanations, or are they excuses?
No, they're legitimate explanations. The left tackle, Tyron Smith, one of the best that we've seen play pro football, has been a dominant force. He is not the same player due to a variety of different injuries and, more importantly, lack of practice time. You know, so Dez Bryant, he's not a superstar anymore. Clearly. Jason Witten, listen, man, Father Time is undefeated. He comes for us all. But the lack of creativity, you know, I'm not going to make excuses for that. They are not very, very creative. And NFL defenses, eventually they will catch up to you. You cannot be a bully and play in the NFL. You got to be able to generate big plays, and you got to get yards after the catch. They are one of the worst in the NFL. Like, when they throw the ball, say, Dak, he doesn't get any help. Right. Wherever that ball goes, if they do catch it, they're going to be tackled on the spot.
So their lack of creativity. Obviously, a lot of that's on Garrett, and they've changed some of the coaching staff. But how much of it is on Dak in that they don't feel like he's there yet to be able to be creative, to understand what they want him to do?
That is part of it, because as a young quarterback, you can only unveil so many volumes to the book for them. And you can see last year, when they didn't have Zeke and when they needed, Dak is not that guy yet.
Well, the one thing that they do have, the one bonus that they have, is that you cannot renegotiate his contract, where he was drafted this year. Next year, they can. So right now, it fits. I mean, he didn't make like $1 million. So right now, they run the benefit of having an elite team with a quarterback who, whatever you think of him, a starting quarterback making pennies, that should allow you to put those star players, the athletes around.
And you better take advantage of that window.
Right.
A lot like Seattle did. Now, Seattle would love to have 2 Super Bowls, you know, to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. They got 2 of them. But their team was built on Russell Wilson's first contract. Once they gave him that next contract, they struggled. Great point.
Gives him a lot of flexibility. Absolutely. Well, coming up, now, is everybody making too big of a deal about this whole Steve Kerr letting his players coach thing? That's next.
I'm sure you like that.
First things first.
You like that.
I want to coach the Warriors.
Of course you do.
Coach the Warriors. Give me the Warriors.